Right, well, Booker, we are back. Last video before Christmas. And obviously today's video is going to be all about the 1.7 review.
Are you going to let me talk about my thing this week, Ben?
What do you want to talk about, Booker? What did you want to talk about?
Well, this week I'd like to welcome you to the very first episode of Tanks on Steroids!
Oh man, that was so funny.
Which they really have been this week. And as an extra special bonus, brought along our very most favourite Judge Radamanthus. Hello!
Hey, Judge!
Hey, I felt the need to return to add some sanity to the chaos that happened last time.
Chaos? No.
Carry on like this, people actually start treating us with respect.
No amount of effort on your part could make that happen.
No, you're probably absolutely right. Been enjoying
Thank you for bringing me back.
Yeah, no, that was an easy decision. Really enjoyed our time last time. So, moving on, tanks. To start with, have you been having a little go with tanks while you've been out there?
Yeah, I have. I've tried missile tanks, I've tried rail tanks, I've tried militia tanks. So, yes.
I think everybody's tried militia tanks.
Yeah.
My tank to death ratio is going up very, very nice. You know, I'm killing tanks left, right, and Chelsea.
Yeah, well, if they're all militia tanks, everybody else is giving it a go. It's making them quite easy pickings at the moment.
Definitely.
Yes, when I say tanks on steroids, I absolutely meant it. I mean, have you ever seen such fast-moving tanks?
Never ever. You can actually see tanks grabbing air, man.
I'm sure somebody should be coming out naming themselves Evil Katank or something like that.
I've got a video of a tank doing a backflip that I videoed from the air. If you, I'll post it up. And you can link to it, but yeah, tanks can do backflips apparently in build 1.7.
Sweet,
amazing.
We're gonna watch that. Awesome sauce. Well, come on then, Judge. Tell us your opinions about tankers, man. Come on.
It's very hard to say. Tanks have got a bug with the speed module on the militia nitrous, and they also have too high a top speed, which CCP have said they're going to address. So the issue we have with tanks is, in summary, they are overpowered at the moment, and that may be only due to their speed. So making the final verdict will be very difficult until the tanks have had their speed adjusted, and then we can go from there.
Wait. So what you're saying is the judge can't judge the tank just yet because you need a bit more time to see where the devs are going to correct the tanks itself, yes?
I think it would be perhaps arrogant to assume we can make judgments about balance when there's a clearly acknowledged mistake. We should
fair play,
take a step back.
Fair play. What do you make of the ammo situation then, Judge?
There have been ammo, yes. The ammo is a very good thing. And I'm going to step out on a limb here, and I think that perhaps we could reduce the amount of ammo, particularly Crossbows can carry. I know.
Controversy.
Because it adds a lot of tactics to the battle. I'm forced to go back to a particular point to get ammo, and I'm vulnerable at that point. So AV could stalk me. They could deliberately make me waste my ammo and push me back to a point where I can be hit by other AV waiting in the wings.
I'm sure you will find an awful lot of people agreeing with you that there should be less ammo in a tank, without a doubt. I'm not sure whether the drones of new tankers would agree with you.
Yeah, I'm not saying we should definitely do it, but we should consider it in terms, for balance purposes and for fun purposes.
Fun purposes? Yeah. What do you mean fun purposes?
Well, there's much fun to be had when two sides push to and fro and use different tactics, rather than an AV person and me standing, looking at each other, firing into each other's faces until someone's moustache burns off and they drop dead.
I don't have a moustache anymore.
Must be Movember.
Because you lack testosterone. And manliness. So there's other ways to have the fight, and by pushing me back to the ammo point, you change the tactics. And that's something perhaps we could look at increasing or decreasing. I'm not saying we should definitely do it, but there's a way there to add intrigue and interest to the interaction.
At the moment, the tanks are so cheap, it's not much of a risk for them anyway, is it?
Now there's a problem there, that for 80k you can put out a tank on the field that will absolutely eat infantry. I don't know how much BAM's forge gun fit would be to take care of those tanks.
No, right, look.
It's
My
about
forge gun
literally nothing.
Right, well look, many moons ago, tankers were having a QQ on the forums there saying the tanks cost 1 point something million and my forge fit costs 88 million. Granted, my proto forge fit with a cheap suit costs 88,000 ISK, right? And now the tables have turned. It's very interesting to see the forge gunners say the same sort of thing, cost v cost. But what really grips me with regards to AV is not necessarily the fight of attrition between tankers and AV, is that what I've gone ahead and noticed is that the people that are QQing vehicles and tankers on the actual forum, as far as I've noticed, are the people that haven't really skilled into becoming an AV specialist. They're becoming a jack of all trades, a master of none. Whereas I've gone ahead and specifically skilled my heavy in AV as well as HMG, right? Proficiency 5 forge gun, proto nades, proficiency 5 swarm launchers. You know, my heavy has got 2 roles. I can't do both on the field, whereas people pull out a militia AV nade and completely annihilate a proto tank because it was minimal risk to the clone that threw the nade with massive loss on the other side. Now the tables have turned, and I think it's very interesting to see, for once.
Yeah, and I noticed you mentioned a war of attrition.
Yeah.
Which makes it sound like a tiring battle of chipping away at each other. It's not actually that. It's more
it's quite fun.
a war of attrition and a war of wits that you can use your tactics to wear each other down to the point where that maybe you don't kill your opponent. What you did in the meantime while you were fighting him is you made him stand there pointing at you, so he was vulnerable to another one of the players on your team, or he wasn't killing the team that was taking an objective. So sometimes killing an opponent is not really the best thing to do, and even if you aren't capable of killing him, you're still contributing, which is where we have to look at the fact that maybe while you're skilling up into AV and you have got weak weapons, you should still be rewarded for it. You should still have a chance to change the flow of the battle. It's those tactics like pushing people back to the ammo supply, making them hang around at a particular point of the map just because you're there shooting at them and it annoys them.
Yeah, no, that's true. Very true. That's very true.
And but there's a little Brucey bonus that you stumbled across and pointed my nose at, Judge, isn't there? About as far as war of attrition is concerned and tit-for-tat battles between AV and vehicles, tucked away in the middle of another
on page
post.
3.
On page 3 of a post that's so far down the forums now, it took quite a long time to find it. And it's CCP Remnant. And
Yay! Remnants! Yay!
And what he's actually doing is replying to some of the comments about this sort of thing, about how attritional battles are being set up, the fact that the ways dropships and tanks are set up now, so they come in, or they would, well, the tanks would do if they weren't so quick, nobody can hit them.
And someone interject.
I can! My forge gun can hit anything!
Well,
I was going to interject. He rammed me, but yeah, I think that's just your forge gunner and you're used to just running over us vehicle guys.
Yeah.
But I am going to interject that, it's because like the Swarm was complaining that they're perhaps struggling to do damage to tanks and to dropships because they're lower tier and the dropships are high tier, and that's why this comment matters.
Yeah. So yes, so I'm going to read it. Thank you again to the judge for actually finding this stuff. The CCP Remnant said, "We had damage-based war points many moons ago, but they were removed because of war point farming. Now, however, we have a global limiter that prevents mass war point farming, so it's definitely something I'd like to add back." But just pause
definitely.
for a moment there. Just pause for a moment there. But if it's not possible to hot fix it, I'll poke the guys about getting it in for 1.8. I think it's fair. He said, "I think that's fair enough for you to get rewarded for chasing vehicles and not being outright being able to destroy them." I mean, that's just like this is tucked away in the middle of a post that I don't think anybody else has noticed.
That's a very good find there, Judge. Well done. Well done.
That's a game changer.
It's important to me because I want people who fight me to get rewards for doing it. Because sometimes the people who they don't kill me, but they certainly stopped me. I did a match today and I went 34 and 0 in a
What? In a dropship? Nah,
Yeah.
dude. Don't believe you. 34 and
Right.
tearing a dropship. Dropship pilots normally come over like 12, 10 kills. 34.
I videoed
You're gonna
it.
have to put that video up, dude. I want to see it.
I will. But the point
Awesome.
being that there were people in that who stopped me going even higher because they were swarming me, but they didn't get many rewards for it because they were bringing their low-level swarms against my high-level dropship. Now I've invested, that particular dropship probably cost 16 million skill points. The missiles they were firing at me probably cost 300,000 dropships. 300,000. It's speaking to you guys, it makes my brain turn to mush. That's why we have to do this video quickly.
As it
before-
should.
It happens,
As it should.
it happens to us every week.
Yeah. It's a struggle. That's why I haven't been on for a couple of weeks. I needed time to recover. Yeah. So these guys are doing a good job of fighting, and they should have been rewarded for it, even though they weren't able to kill me, because they put themselves at risk. They stood in the open. They fired missiles at me where everyone could see where they were. They took a risk. They put their ISK on the line to try and get rid of me, and they should have got some more points for it.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, and I love post. Well, thank you, CCP Remnant, for bringing this up. I think
And
it's
we won't
great.
forget.
I think it. Yeah,
Bookmarked.
yeah, bookmark. I think it's fantastic that you'll get 1 point for damage. I assume that's just on vehicles. I kind of would like to argue the case for that to be happening with all sorts of things, but that's not for this sort of video we're doing for this week. It's off topic.
Yeah, Booker. Wrong subject, wrong video.
Slight deja vu there.
Yeah, definitely a bit of deja vu there. Well, yeah, just to carry on with the whole sort of AV versus vehicles, you know, what I like about this whole sort of AV versus vehicle thing is that they've tweaked it in
What
such
you
a
don't
manner. No, dude, 1.7 is awesome. All right, I love 1.7. What I like particularly about this is because 1.7 is going to grow dumber pilots. Okay, dumber dropship pilots, dumber tankers. Okay. Judge, you became the skilled dropship pilot you've become today because of what's happened in the past, and I'm sure there are many other pilots out there who are just as or more skilled than you, okay? And because of what's happened previously, you've had to use terrain, you've had to use hardness, you've had to use skill and tactics, alright? 1.7 is going to make dumber pilots. I love 1.7. Roll it on.
Yeah, you're right, man. There are some people, you mentioned dumber pilots, and I know there are some people who are new who are learning to fly. And when you referred to the pilots, I wondered if you had anybody particular in mind.
Alright, okay.
Booker?
I may have dabbled this week.
Dabbled? Oh yeah.
Well, all I can say is that I'm extremely glad about the very cheap entry price militia dropships right now, because at the rate at which I'm going through them is alarming, to say the least. But
Your name's
point,
Crash,
yes,
is it?
Yes, I have been learning how to fly dropships, and yes, you are right. Dropship pilots are getting dumber. For sure.
Yeah, and if you're AV, you just have to remember that sometimes shooting at a Booker, and sometimes you're shooting at a judge.
Yeah.
And here's the difference.
There is.
The reason you were having difficulty was not because my videos weren't helping you, but because they were awesome and you were doing really well because of them.
Oh, yeah, they were awesome. I mean, I couldn't even go forwards. I couldn't work it out until I switched to a video.
That's what I remember speaking to you about. He said, I can't go forwards. Like, go to minute 2 minutes. Go to 2 minutes, watch that bit, follow the little yellow dot. You'll manage it.
Yeah,
So
well,
then-
I've worked that out. Yeah.
So then, Judge, after Booker's cool story, bro, what are your sort of takes on regards to the balance of the dropships? I know we've spoken about tanks and the balancing and issues with the tanks. Are there similar issues with the dropships, or are they pretty awesome at the minute? Because I haven't found much QQing about dropships. They seem pretty okay right now.
They seem pretty balanced. I don't feel too powerful. I don't feel too weak at the moment, so I think they're pretty balanced. There are balanced issues regarding to how they interact with tanks in some respects, but we can't judge tanks because we know there are issues with them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and the fact that nobody's really complaining, and that the dropship pilots I speak to tend to get the same scores as before, but die a little bit less. And the prices of dropships are less, means they're more sustainable, they're more enjoyable, people play them, and the battles are more exciting because there's dropships in them. So, in summary, 1.7 was good for dropships.
Nice one.
As a
1.7 was
start.
good for vehicles across the board. I'm pretty sure once they hotfix the tanks and figure out where they want to go with tankers, 1.7 will be on its feet.
We
I know
need
there
to
was-
focus on that. It's just a start. This is step 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you have a problem with it, tell the devs in a balanced way, let's fix it. Make it balanced, then we can get to step 2 just that
There we
little
go.
bit quicker.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Judge.
And
Thank
I,
you.
I just wanted to ask, I asked about tanks, but what about dropships and their ammo? How's that working out?
Ooh, good question.
Ammo's, well, I have an interesting video where I've had to land to get ammo, and there's been a queue of 3 of us trying to get ammo, and we've had to queue up like a supermarket, and then we've had to put our noses through the doorway, the back of the map of this structure, to get a little bit of ammo, then go up and then reverse out, and then off we go. It's
god.
the and I've spoken to tankers, and they have the same problem. The ammo supply points, I like the ammo concept, but there's serious work needed on the supply points.
Or maybe even Logi Labs that do their job.
There we go. Thank you very much, Booker.
If there was a
Beautiful.
Logi lab who I could fly to, that would be even
Yeah.
better.
That would be brilliant.
That's something we can look for the future. What we need
Maybe.
is AV players, equal players working together to make it fun for both sides. I don't want dominance, I want to fight.
You want balance. You want
And
to
I
fight.
think
You want a fair
AV
war.
players want, I think AV players want that too.
Right, well, Booker, any last sort of
You can.
comments you want to mention about 1.7 of how awesome it is?
Well, I have to say that 1.7 has been a whole lot of fun, as we had fun with the LAVs in the
Yep,
Super
we
Duper
did.
Overdrive that one night. But probably most of that fun was because there are bugs involved with the tanks and with
No,
the
true,
fuel
true, true.
injection units. Yeah, it's been encouraging. I don't think the first couple of nights it looked like the tanks were just going to overwhelm everybody, and they do need sorting out, but they're not. Even with their speed, they're not absolutely unchallengeable. But I'll be glad when they get toned down a little bit.
Judge, any final thoughts from you, dude?
Yeah, the vehicles still need a little bit of a polish to get this one right, but we need to pass over them with a feather, not a brick. You know,
Yes.
a little bit here, a little bit there.
Oh, you mean
But,
the Nerf hammer? That's fairly heavy
the
sometimes.
Nerf- no.
All the time.
The Nerf tickler. The
Yeah,
Nerf
just,
tickler.
maybe the speed's a bit much, but don't cut it in half, cut it by a little bit, see how that goes, and give proper feedback to developers, let them see why we think it's unbalanced, and then we will come to the place we need to be, and then we can bring in more vehicles and more AV weapons.
Just look at where Dust 514 has been and where it is now. If you guys remember Uprising 1.0 to Uprising 1.4, which everybody hated but then everyone loved, and now you look at 1.7, Dust has come along in leaps and bounds. Every month there's something new, there's something exciting, and there's fun to be had. Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all you mercs out there. Bye!
Yeah, I'm not going to say that. You've been judged.
Perfect.
What you want? What you want?